Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, beautiful people, wherever you're watching us from around the world. Welcome on another exciting episode on One-on-One on K84 Podcast with your host and friend, Kenna the Greatest. We've got truly a great guest in the building today. But before that, make sure to become part of the K84 family and community. Go like, follow, share, subscribe on all social media platforms. Just search K84 Podcast. And you know what? You know how we do it. All right, so stick around. The show returns right after this. Stay tuned.
It's K84, turn up, it's official.
Before we proceed to give you what you need, let me say this today. This episode is partnered with Cabinet Ladies. For your home, for your kitchen, bathroom, home remodeling, kitchen cabinet, countertop, expert designs and more, redesign any space in your home with your preferred style, taste, look, colors. You know what? Get in touch with Cabinet Ladies on 918-995-4930. 918-995-4930. If you live in Jinx, Tulsa, Owasso, Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, Missouri, or wherever in America, Cabinet Ladies, they got you covered. You know what I mean? So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, who is my guest on the show today? Guess what?
Jaz Smedley, an award-winning entrepreneur, creator, micro-influencer. She's a marketing innovator, women's activist, community leader, COO, and co-founder of one of Oklahoma's fastest home renovation brand, the Cabinet Ladies, a multi-million-dollar company making waves in the industry. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Miss Jaz Smedley on One-on-One on K84 Podcast.
All right, hello, Miss Jaz.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing awesome. How about yourself?
I'm doing good.
All right. So, who is Miss Jaz? And how, did you grow up like?
So, I am one of the co-owners of the Cabinet Ladies of Jinx / Tulsa. And how did I grow up like?
Yeah.
So, I grew up in a lower class family.
Okay.
Just kind of like scraping by whatever means we could.
Yeah. So, growing up, you grew up, which side of, Jinx or Tulsa did you grow up from? Like the north side, the east side, west side of, which community did you grow up?
I actually, I started off in Duncan, Oklahoma.
Okay.
Which is like kind of close to Oklahoma City.
Okay.
And then I went to Glenpool, and I raised up out of Glenpool, and then I ended up in Tulsa after that.
Okay. So, a mother and a daughter business, how did it start up like?
Well, she used to work for a big box company.
Okay.
And she was making really good commission, and she ended up doing like CEO stuff, like outdoor sales, and they were making great commission, and then there was like people who were doing the same thing, but they wouldn't make as much, And then one day that big box store decided to put everybody on the same level.
Oh.
And, of course, all the people who were doing really good, they didn't like that. And all the people down here, they loved it. And all the people up top were like, that's not fair. I'm leaving. I'm out. So I'm working at a vape shop, Cloud Chasers. Definitely stop in for your vape shop needs. I was working there. I was the manager of the Sepulpa location, and my mom comes to me. She's like, "Would you like to start a business?" And I was like, "Sure." Like, what kind of business? And she goes, "Cabinets." And I was like, "I can't swing a hammer, but okay, let's do it."
So wait, you know what? What first came in your mind? Because that is a male-dominated field, right? So when your mom came in and like, "Yo, Jazz, let's do this," what first, clicked your mind? Mom, this is a male-dominated, industry or field. What first,
I didn't really think about that too much. For me, I was just like, I can do it.
Okay.
I can do it.
Okay.
I didn't think about men being in that field or nothing. I was just like, you know what? Let's do it.
Oh.
I don't know how, but let's figure it out. Let's go.
Oh, all right. So, when you first started, right, what are some of the challenges you guys encountered?
Well, when we first started, we started out of her home office in Jinx. And, we had this cabinet company we were working with that we aren't with anymore. And when we did that, those cabinets were quite expensive to ship in. And, we didn't have any money to start our business. And so what happened was we convinced people to pay 100% up front for their remodels. And so next thing you know, we had our first customer. They wrote us like a $16,000 check up front.
Oh, that's
and we
good.
were like, okay, I can't believe we, did that. And then we just rinse, repeat, until we're able to save up a little money and get a little bit ahead. But it was also a lot of God opening doors for us.
Okay, so before that, right, at what point in your job did you, decided, hey, I want to quit my job and then take, what my mom said, let's do it full time. At what point did you decide to quit your job?
Well, I stayed at Cloud Chasers for a good 6 months while we were building up this business. And I was working for the cabinet company for free for the first 6 months while I was part-time working at Cloud Chasers. And so I would work 9 to 5 cabinet ladies and then 5 to midnight for Cloud Chasers, like 6 days a week. And then I'd have like one day off. My mom would help me with my son, and I really just thugged it out. And, she was also working part-time at that big box store as well while we were getting this going, And so, it was like a lot of long hours, a lot of just figuring out how we're going to make it work, and just really just like putting everything we had into building this up.
Okay. So how did you guys have funding to start the whole business?
We didn't.
So how is it from your savings, or did you went in to get a loan, or how did you guys do it?
We didn't take a loan.
So how did you do it?
We had everybody pay up front for their cabinets, and then we just didn't pay ourselves and just saved up what we could. And then, like I said, God opened a lot of doors. We encountered some people who would we encountered this one guy who let us office with him for free because he had a countertop business. And he said, well, if you will sell our countertops every time you sell a cabinet, I will let you office with us for free, and we will use your cabinets in our showroom.
Okay.
And we said, bam, done, easy. Every time we sell cabinets, like, obviously you need a countertop. That's easy. Okay. Right?
Yeah.
And so we did do that.
Yeah. So, take me back a little bit. The first contract you guys, won or had, how's the experience like? You were like, yeah, this is our first contract, because you just started a new business. And then it being a new business, everything, the first step or the first initial encounter and everything is all of it. So how did you feel?
Well, we were like a little bit nervous because we had one installer. And so they gave us the money and we ordered their cabinets. And then, of course, we paid the labor for the install. And then, we're just like hoping that the contractor does right and does what he says he's going to do and goes and installs it.
Okay. So how do you guys, drive inspiration, or what keeps you guys going in the business, field you guys find yourself?
I mean, we just do. You can't, we're too invested to quit now.
So has there been a point in your life you'd be like, nah, man, I want to stop this?
No, not yet.
So when you guys encounter difficulties or some challenges, what do you do?
Well, recently we have been in a little bit of a difficult situation because we did that big apartment complex.
Oh.
And I don't know what you know about commercial construction, but, you have to front out like a lot on the labor. And then, it takes a while for them to pay out, which is like just like the normal, how this stuff normally operates. But it can kind of give like a pinch, if you know what I mean. Plus like, how the way the economy's been recently, it's been really rough. All of the tradespeople have been suffering. And so it's just been like, it seems like almost one thing after another, but we've been like very blessed in our time as entrepreneurs that we haven't really felt any pinch until just this last little bit. And so I'm like, I just told my mom today, I said, we were so lucky not to feel the entrepreneurial pinch, and so it's just like finally our moment to feel it,
Yeah.
But it's fine. It's something that every entrepreneur goes through at some point, and we're going to make it out, and it's going to be okay.
Okay, so what were the first steps, you guys took when you guys were trying to bring your ideas into reality?
Well, my mom already had experience with kitchen design, and so that helped us out a lot because we knew exactly what program we needed to use, and she knew how to use it, and so she taught me how to do kitchen design. And then from there, I also taught myself a whole lot as well, and so it came pretty naturally. I had to be taught how to do the measuring and pretty much everything because I didn't know anything about cabinetry when I started, but I picked up on it pretty quick, and then it's just been pretty good. Okay,
so did you have a business plan when you guys were first starting this whole company up?
So sort of, we did have a little bit of a business plan. Like we had the idea that yes, we want to bring people's dream kitchens to life. We were thinking we were going to be really mainly residential and just kind of handling that. And then through all these doors that God has opened for us, we have found out that we've ended up in a lot more commercial spaces, and now we're helping out house flippers and general contractors and all of those people, investors, real estate agents. All of these kind of people are the people that we really deal the most with. And it's really good because, we ended up with a warehouse full of cabinetry.
Oh.
And so we stock locally, and it just makes it really easy for these builders and flippers. They've got all these multiple projects going on. Everything is a time game. Anything real estate, it's a time game. They don't have time to wait 2 weeks for their next part to get shipped out. That's not going to work. So if they need a new kitchen, we can do it with our white cabinets from our warehouse. And if anything goes wrong, we have stock in our warehouse, so we can just trade pieces out, whatever we got to do to make it work. And we're going to have that kitchen done quick as heck.
Okay, so tell me this, right? What was the worst, project, or what was the worst job you've done so far that I'd be like, damn, this job, man, hell no, I don't want to
There is one that comes to mind. This job was a custom job.
Okay.
And it got all messed up because of, to begin with, we had a general contractor who brought us the job. And he measured it. Okay. And then he brings it to me. He says, okay, design it. And here's the measurements. I said, great. Okay. Yeah, I'll design it. And so I design it. And then the customer comes in and she's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, this is going to be like Fabuwood, right? You want blue cabinets? We got this. And she's like, yeah, this is great. And then we're like, okay, awesome. Like, this is growing great. Can't wait. You know, I'm about to go do the second measure. And then she comes into the office and she goes, actually, I would like custom unfinished cabinets. And she's already paid her deposit. And going from Fabuwood to custom, like, that's like 2 different prices. She's already paid her deposit, and she's willing to, like, make amends anywhere, right? You know, it was no fault of the customer. It was really a whole bunch of different faults. So I'm going to get into it, right?
Yeah.
So, so then, you know, we're like, okay, yeah, well, we'll make it happen. And the custom guy that we had at the time is not somebody that we're using anymore. But what happened is, so the first general contractor had measured. Well, then I bring out this custom guy to come measure, right? He measures and everything and gets his design together based on my design, but with the custom unfinished cabinets, because she was wanting to do like this custom stain with like a glaze and like all this other stuff, you know, which is fine. But then what happened was like everybody's measurements were like way different.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, great. And she's already got her deposit in. So I'm like, okay, I go measure. I came up with a third different thing. And anyway, so we all come to Jesus about it, right? And we get to a point where we think we're like, we're sure we're ready. So we start building. Cabinets go in. And everything's going good. And then, you know, there was just issues everywhere. Like, there was, like, an issue with the flooring under the cabinetry. And then, like, next thing you know, they go to stain the cabinetry this ridiculous, like, blue color. And the problem, because it is beautiful, but the problem is, like, the blue stain is crazy hard to do. And I don't know what happened to these cabinets, because I think like some oil got on them or some water drops or some fingerprints or something. We don't really know, and nobody knows whose fault it was. Nobody knows what happened. There was no rain during the delivery. And
This happened?
Well, the stainer goes to stain it, and next thing you know, it looks like leopard spots all over these cabinets. And we have to replace all the doors on all these cabinets, and it was expensive. It was horrible.
Okay, so I'll ask you this, right?
But we replaced them, and we did not make the customer pay for that.
I'll ask you this, right? So have you done a job for a customer, a client, and then he or she will be like, hey, I didn't like it. Pay me back my money. I want my refund. Have you had that experience yet?
No. Because we always make sure our customers are taken care of. Like I just said, even though there was like spots on those cabinet doors, you know, we paid to replace all the doors, even though it truly wasn't our fault, the cabinet ladies. But it was one of our subcontractors' fault. Okay. We don't know which one. We really have no idea whose fault it came from. But at the end of the day, that was our customer. And so we bit the bullet and we did what we had to do to make it right for our customer. All
right. Tell me this, right? How do you differentiate your product from your competitors?
Well, the one number thing I would say differentiates us from our competitors is we offer customer service like the good old days, you know?
Okay. So tell me about the good old days. How is the good old days like?
So, like, we're thinking of, like, back in the day when you pull up to the gas station and you got people running out to come fill up your tank, you know?
Okay.
It's like that because I hear all the time these horror stories of all these, like, people, and they're, like, get in touch with these contractors, and the contractors are supposed to, you know, do the work they say they're going to do, and what ends up happening is, like, kind of like the job I was just talking about, like, all these things go wrong, and they get overwhelmed, and they just dip.
Uh-huh.
They take the money and they go, and they block your number, and you call and you go straight to voicemail, and you can't get a hold of them, and they disappear, and you can't do anything. You can't even get a hold of them or nothing, and they just take all your money and run, and you're just left with half a kitchen.
That's crazy.
And that happens to people all the time, you know, and that is something that we will never do to anybody, no matter what.
Crazy. So, you know what I mean? Tell me this, right? When you do a job for a client and then the client give you like feedback, what actually do you do with the feedback? Because as a business person, you sometimes look at certain things, okay, I need to improve here. I need to, you know what I mean? What do you know what I mean? How do you build up on your feedback?
Well, I mean, of course, anytime anything goes wrong, you know, we're on the other end trying to figure out what we can do to like make it better, you know? Like right now, we have a company that we're dealing with, and the problem is that they had taken these really great people and moved them into other positions. And so it affects our streamline because we're not able to, you know, get products as quickly as we were in the past. And it's been rough for us, and I'm sure for them too. But, you know, whenever people, you know, sometimes like we know about a problem before that the customers do, but it takes a while to resolve, and business still needs to keep going, right? And then it's like for somebody, you know, wanting a specialty cabinet rather than just like what we have in our warehouse, you know, it's not like we can just run to the warehouse and fix that real quick. You know, it's going to take time because we're going to have to make sure we get the pieces.
All right. So tell me this, right? How has your product and services, you know, I mean, evolved since, you know, you guys launched?
Well, when we launched, we had one line of cabinets. We no longer use them because they're way expensive. Now we've added our high-end luxury line, Fabuwood, which is great for luxury homes, you know. And then we've got our like middle-class cabinets, which is great. We have several different colors available. And then we have what we have in our warehouse, which is mainly what we use for like builders and flippers and remodelers and people like that. And then of course, like there are people who just want to do like a very affordable kitchen and they don't care that it's white. And so we're good. We're happy to help.
All right. So tell me this, right? How do you stay ahead of, you know what I mean, the marketing and then trending? You know what I mean? How do you stay ahead?
So we train our designers regularly. We have countertop people who will have come in from the distribution center where all the material comes from. They'll come in and they'll teach all of our employees, like, you know, how to tell the difference between a granite, a quartzite. What is the difference? How do you care for these different products? You know, what happens, like, if you want these these countertops to stay good for a long time, you know, like, obviously, like, quartz is man-made, right? And it's made out of resin. They, like, crush up granite and they mix it with resin and they, like, heat press it together.
Yeah.
And that's why every slab looks the same and they all have a book match. Okay. Well, if you take a hot pot and you put it on there, guess what happens? You get a yellow ring.
I see.
And nobody wants a yellow ring on their countertops. But now if you did that with like granite, you might be okay. I mean, I never recommend putting a hot pot on any surface, but if it did happen, like with granite, I feel like you'd be the most protected.
Yeah. So as an entrepreneur, right, what are some of the risks you've taken in your life so far?
Well, I suppose the risk is that, you know, we have everything that we have invested into this. And, you know, now we also have employees who rely on us for a paycheck, you know. And so our biggest risk is to be able to produce enough jobs in order to keep our people paid and fed. Right. And that's the hardest part about being an entrepreneur, because, you know, there are days whenever you go without checks just to make sure that your people don't have to.
Okay, so who get paid first? Is it you, the CEO, or the people you've hired to, you know what I mean, work for you?
It's always going to be our employees and our contractors.
So has there been a time that, hey, paychecks got delayed?
Mm-hmm. There's been times where I went without a paycheck for like 3 weeks. It was really rough. But it's okay.
You being the CEO, I'm not, you know, I'm knowing you, but
and my mom as well.
Yeah. So what about has it been a time for, your employees or people you work with that, hey, their paycheck didn't come in on time? And how was the experience like?
When my paycheck didn't come in on
No,
time?
with the folks, you guys are working with.
So, like our salespeople, their paychecks are always on time.
Okay.
Now, sometimes for like one of our 1099 contractors, their check may not come in right away, but like, it's because we are usually having to wait for like the payment on the job before we can write that check to them. And if there's like delays on that job, it can really cause like delays on that paycheck.
Okay. So how do you handle, setback or failure when you encounter them?
When I encounter the...
Yeah, setbacks?
Well, I see the setbacks on what?
On anything in life.
I mean, you just roll with the punches. What else can you do?
Yeah, you know what I mean?
You can give up and quit and crawl into a corner and cry, but that's not going to get the bills paid.
Yeah.
What you got to do is go out and get more jobs.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Sometimes some people...
You got to keep the ball rolling.
Yeah, sometimes certain people will feel like we all handle things differently, right? You know what I mean? So sometimes certain people are so soft or so not kind of like hard in a way that, hey, okay, I encounter this setback or wherever, and I need to, you know what I mean, put up, you know what I mean, the crumbs or the little bits, and then, hey, get back again. Some people will stay down and be like,
Those are the people that won't make it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me this. If you had failed in the business you started,
I would start another one. Something else. And I would do it better.
how?
If I failed. Now, I mean, like, in order for me to fail, I mean, you're going to have to drag me down. Like, you're going to have to force me to fail because I ain't going to fail willingly. I'm not going to give up. We're just going to keep going, you know?
Okay. So let's talk about...
most of the time, it's just like a little bit of a rough patch or a slow season, and you really feel stressed, and that's normal in, like, especially like a luxury type business. When the economy goes down, people don't want to drop $20,000 on a kitchen remodel right now because nobody's even sure. Like, you know, in November, you know, people didn't even get food stamps, you know, till halfway through the month, you know, and people think that just affects low-income people, but it doesn't, because what about all these elderly folks who are on food stamps, and it's like their family steps in for them to provide them food whenever their food stamps went out, you know? And so it trickles down into other people in other areas of life. Walmart and all of the other places, you know, the grocery stores and stuff, you know, they took a big hit whenever all of that went down, you know? Like, they rely on food stamps. You know, it was so bad that at the grocery stores, you know, there is a bunch of meat that they didn't sell because nobody had food stamps. And so they're yellow tagging it, yellow tagging it, yellow tagging it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Do you feel accomplished? Do you feel successful with the things you're doing now?
I do.
Tell me more about that.
Well, you know, in our business, our first year business, you know, we were nominated for Tulsa World Best in the World 2024. We made it to finalists for that, which was like really cool because, you know, we didn't even apply for that. The community nominated us for that. And then this year we won 2 categories.
Oh, that's great.
First place for best cabinets and best countertops for 2025. You know, we have a 5-star Google rating.
That's awesome.
Like, out of 2 years of freaking interior construction business, you know, 5 stars, that's amazing. That means we haven't got a single bad review.
That's good. Because
we take care of the people that we always hold up our promise. Like, we promise we're going to take care of you. There may be bumps in the road, and we try to set realistic expectations with everybody that, you know, sometimes things come up in construction, you know? And, you know, maybe a part comes in wrong, you know? It's not necessarily our fault, because we work with a lot of other companies and other contractors, and so it's like a whole bunch of different teams of people who have to come together to make this dream a reality. And that's like the hardest part, you know, is coordinating all of that. But at the end of the day, no matter what happens, like, our promise to our customers is that we are going to make sure that you're taken care of. and you are going to be like, you're going to have the kitchen you like, you know, and if you don't like something, please let us know, because we're more than willing to help fix it.
Okay, so you tell me this. How do you balance risk taking with smart decision making?
We work with our accountants.
Okay. So is there a way you guys would ever embark on any kind of like contract that, hey, look a little bit, you could read that, hey, this, when we go into this, could that be a risk or something? Would you ever embark on that, or be like, hey, let's go do it? Or you just hold back?
I guess it depends on the level of risk and how confident we feel about being able to achieve it. If we're not confident that we're able to achieve it, we're going to let the person know, like, I don't think we're the right business to be calling. I can try to find somebody to refer you to. You know, not every job is our job.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And we only take on jobs that we're 100% confident that we can take care of.
Okay. So as a CEO, as a founder, how do you build your team?
Well, you know, that's kind of tricky because, you know, sometimes there are just people who come and they mean well. And like we've had some employees like that before where, you know, they've came in, they meant well, and, you know, they were good. You know, we didn't have no problems with them. But then one day they're just like, oh, I'm done.
Really?
I'm leaving to go do something else. And it's like, that's okay, you know, that's okay.
All right.
And we're like, well, is it anything we did? And they're like, no, I just want to go do something else. And we're like, this just didn't for me. And we're just like, okay. But we don't have like a high turnover rate because I feel like we take pretty good care of our employees. And I'm not saying everything's perfect all the time. We're a small business. And, you know, sometimes things get tight, you know, and but it takes a lot of everybody coming together as a team to make it work. But when it works, you know, it always comes back around. You know, we're always, you know, doing something for them in order to make sure that they're taken care of. Or like say that we go through a rough patch and everybody has to get paid a little less for us to make it through the slow season. Well, then in the busy season, when we're booming, you know, we'll make it up to people.
Right.
You know, so it's like a give and take, you know. You help us, and then we'll make sure to take care of you because we remember who's there for us, because we really can't do this alone. We have to have our people. Our people mean so much to us, and we need them.
How would you describe, you know what I mean, your style of leadership?
My style of leadership, I'm pretty relaxed. I'm open to hearing everybody else's ideas. I don't think that I'm the only one with a good idea. You know, I really think that if we all put our heads together as a team, we could get a lot further than if we just think of one person as being in charge. So, you know, my mother and I, we may be the owners, but, you know, all the time we're having team meetings. We're, you know, talking to the people who are working with us, and we're like, hey, like, this is what's really going on. Like, you know, where do you stand in this? What's your opinion? What do you think we should do? You know what I mean? It's like our little business is like a family. We've got like 6 employees, you know, and we respect our employees. We don't think of them as lower than us. We think of them as with us.
Okay.
Because what are we without them? We can't do this alone.
All right. How do you keep your team motivated?
Well, I mean, everybody stays pretty motivated for the most part, but I mean, I think just like the team meetings and us being transparent about like what's going on, and not only that, but you know, we like to pay out a little bit of commission to our salespeople, our installers. We pay them; they get paid better than me and my mom do.
Oh, really?
Yes,
how
like a lot
you
more.
You own a company, so how do you get? How is that possible?
It's because they're 1099. You know, we let them. I can't get into too many details on live.
Okay.
We can have a one-to-one if you want to talk more about that. But we pay our installers very well. They get paid very well. I wish I got paid what they got paid.
Oh, really?
But they're out there doing the hard work. So what can I say?
Yeah. Tell me, what have you learned so far managing people?
Well, my my time of managing people actually started at Cloud Chasers.
Okay, so let's hear that.
When I was working at Cloud Chasers, I was in charge of the hiring, the firing, the keeping up with inventory, the dealing with all the drama between the people. People get mad at each other. I had to navigate that. Angry customers. Somebody made a customer angry. I had to deal with that. And so I learned a lot about HR during that time. And I didn't really realize it. I think it was like a God thing. But I was being trained for what I'm doing now because, like, through Cloud Chasers and everything I went through, you know?
Yeah.
And so I learned a lot about how to deal with people. And, you know, a lot of it is just like people want to just feel like they're being heard, you know? If you can let somebody know that you hear them and that you really hear them, you're not just pretending to hear them, that goes a lot further than any kind of fake apology or anything you can give them, you know? Like, it's like, and have accountability. Like, yeah, I made a mistake, but I'm going to make it right. And I apologize. I'm so sorry. And you're right. I did mess up.
Have you ever fired somebody? You know what I mean? When you had that job, have you ever fired somebody?
At Cloud Chasers?
Yep.
Yes.
How was the experience? How did it happen? What is that?
One guy got caught stealing stuff, and he was hiding the...
What was he stealing?
Like vape juice and stuff. He was hiding the empty packaging under the sink. And I was like...
So
I keep track of the schedule. Like, I know who's here.
How was he caught? Or how was he, you know, in front of, like, hey, he's stealing something? Or do you guys look through the cameras? Or how did it happen?
I walked in the bathroom and looked under the sink for toilet paper, and I saw all the vape juice, and it was his flavor, the one that he told me he likes.
So what about if it's not him? How do you determine that, hey, it was him? Did you check the cameras? How?
I watched him.
Oh.
I didn't say anything, and I watched him, and then I seen. Now, we had cameras too. And then not only that, but other employees had seen things as well. I mean, it was very obvious. He did a horrible job hiding it. He just got busted red-handed, pretty much. And then I brought the bottle to him, and I said, hey, what's this doing down there? And he's like, yeah, I put that down there. I paid for it, though. And I was like, yeah, but, you know, we checked the footage. We didn't see you paying for nothing, so... Can you explain that? I was like, can you show me your transaction history or receipt?
Yeah, so when
he came back. He came back a couple months later,
and you rehired
with a friend. No, he came back a couple months later with a friend, and they grabbed the box of $5 vapes and ran out the door.
He came to rob you?
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah, he ended up getting arrested though. So I mean, that's on him.
That is so bad.
This is very bad. Yeah, I was like, "What are you doing, dude?" Like.
So he had no job or what?
No.
That is crazy. That is real crazy.
I know, vape shop things.
Yeah. So let's talk a bit about AI, you know what I mean? Artificial intelligence is all over. AI is all over. Everywhere you go, AI. Everywhere you go, AI. So how do you use AI?
I literally use AI every single day of my life.
Let's break it down.
Well, I mean, I use it from, you know, if I'm at the grocery store and I'm looking for clean ingredients on a spaghetti sauce, I'll be at Whole Foods and I'll just snap a picture of the aisle and I'll be like, well, what's got the cleanest ingredients? Boom, it gives me a list and tells me why. What's good, why it's good, what's cheapest, what I should get. By the way, it is the 365 brand. Whole Foods is very strict about what they carry. I love the 365 brand by Whole Foods. And so I like to also use it for things like I'll take pictures of my plants and be like, why is my leaf dying? You know, what kind of plant is this? Like, what should I do? What are my next steps? And it'll tell me.
Do you think AI...
I use it to create Excel sheets.
Okay. Do you think AI is taking some jobs away from people?
Probably.
That is crazy.
And it's not going to get better. It's going to get worse.
So what should people do with the AI?
You learn how to work with it or you're going to be irrelevant.
Really?
Yes. Learn how to use AI or I don't know what to tell you.
So if I'm not using AI, I'm not saying I'm not using, but if I'm not using AI, what's the advantage and disadvantage?
Well, it depends on your line of business. I would say that I would try to use AI for whatever you can.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
If you can integrate it somehow, I would.
I would say this, right? Have you know sometimes losing the touch of humanity? Let's say there's certain things maybe you need to call a friend or call your mom or something to, kind of have a conversation. Okay, how do I do this? But with AI, it seems like, hey, we kind of like always on our phones. Our social interaction with people sort of, kind of push away. And then my phone, AI. There's certain things I need to do, or maybe, hey, let me call Jaz, or let me call this friend, or let me call that person. Hey, I need this. What do you think about it? But with AI, I don't think we are losing, the social, aspect of life.
No. Because AI is not like talking to a real human. Essentially, what it's doing is it's using data from all of the conversations on the internet to be able to predict what words sound right next. And so it's not like you're talking to an actual human with a soul. You're talking to essentially like a really good guessing machine.
Okay, so guessing machine, right? Check this out.
Mm-hmm. But it's real good.
What if a lot of information piled up on the internet are bad or wrong or not the right, information? And then AI giving wrong information.
So that's not possible because it can also check references.
Let's talk about students, right? With AI.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine you being given an essay to write or a test to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then instead of student learning or doing the real work, they'll prefer, hey, just putting it out there for AI, give me answers, and then they go. Is it also affecting, we being productive?
So it used to, but now AI has secret hidden codes. So even if you copy and paste something the AI gives you, and then you put it into the, put it into your essay or whatever, there's technology that can tell that you've done that. I mean, I guess if you were to handwrite it on paper, you might get away with it. But if you copy and paste it into anything, there's technology that can recognize that that's AI.
Oh, really?
Yes. And it has from what I understand, there's secret code that's built into the words that is on the document. It's way high level more than I am.
Okay. So you tell me, what do you use AI in your field of work?
In my field of work for Excel spreadsheets. I use it for content generation, image generation. I use it for social media posts. I use it for also, I've entered in every item I have and all of the prices. So if I need to look up a price on a cabinet, I can just ask chat.
All right.
And it's I'm like, what's the sink base? And it's $252. And I'm like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You tell me on this. How do you approach marketing and brand building?
Yeah, I just do. I don't know. It's very a visual field, right? So the visual part of it makes up a lot. But we have a radio commercial, 92.9 The River. Tune in.
Okay.
And for the radio commercial, we have to match our visuals. So it's 1950s, retro, feminine, housewives, in the kitchen cooking, obviously, with the cabinets. So I just think it's real cute, I think that, having a brand that tells a story, it just speaks so loud compared to, I don't know, other brands where they're I don't know. Say it's a roofing brand and the logo is a roof. And it's Roofers X2. And it's like black and blue and white, and it's just like, and that's it. You know, that's all, every single construction logo looks like that. I don't care what field you're in.
Oh. Right. So what strategies have been most effective, you know what I mean, in your business?
Definitely networking. I'm a huge networker. You know, the thing that's going to get you furthest in life is relationships. Building relationships is so important, and community engagement, and just like, you know, being relatable, being a humble person that people feel like they can relate to. That is the number one, like, most effective thing in business. Because if somebody feels like, if they are looking at my Facebook page or my website or anything, and they're looking at that, and they can get a sense of like, yes, I feel like I know her already. You know, I know her. I like her. I already feel like I know her. I'm going to get my cabinets from her, because why would I go to, you know, cabinetsdowntheroad.com and get whatever? We don't know who they are. Or we can go to the Cabinet Ladies, and we can go meet Jaz and Denise, and we can go have potluck dinners with them in their showroom, and you know, we can go attend their Botox parties, and they have Christmas events, and, you know, they're here with the community, and you don't have to buy anything to be there. You know, you can just show up and meet them and have fun, and, you know, it's like no judgment. You know, we're just here to engage with people and spread the love, and if you want some cabinets, we definitely want to sell you some cabinets. But, you know, more than that, we would love to just like build relationships. It's very important for us.
Okay, so what's the vision like in the next 10 years with your business?
Well, right now we're opening up a custom cabinet building area shop. So we're going to be doing a lot more high-end luxury custom cabinets. That's what we want to get into, like super quick. So if anybody watching needs some custom built cabinets, give us a call and we'll work it out.
Yeah, sure. Yep. Yeah, I mean, so in the next 10 years, do you think you guys are going to expand out of the Midwest to, let's say, the East Coast, West Coast, you know what I mean, up and north?
So our long-term goal is we're wanting to be like a hub for central United States. Right? And so we're trying to provide cabinets in wholesale quantities that we can drop ship.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, we can do that now already. But, yeah, that's where we're going. It's going to be great.
So what advice would you give, I mean, somebody aspiring to be in your shoes?
I would tell them to do networking, have your faith rooted deeply in God, and pray to God whenever you can. And when an opportunity comes knocking, don't just immediately think it's a scam. Give people a chance, look into it, see what they're talking about, because you never know what opportunity God has placed in front of you that's really going to take you to the next level. You would be shocked to know the stepping stones that God put in front of us that put us where we are now, and it's been amazing. And, you know, we have to give all the thanks to Him.
Okay. So tell me this, has there been a point where you and your mom clashing ideas, like, hey, you thinking that way and she thinking the other way? Has there be a point in time?
Yeah, but never on anything like super big. We're pretty much on the same page for most big things. But every now and then, you know, we're like, just like any other people, you know, we get a little fed up with each other here and there, and we're like, you know, and then we're just like, whatever, just do what you want, whatever.
All right. Yeah, I mean, you tell me, if you could start it all over again, right, what are certain things you do differently?
I think just like having a better infrastructure in place early on, and not, because like we did a few things where we bit off a little more than we could chew. Being more conscious of that probably would have helped, but also it's really hard to actually say, because doing that also really boosted us up too. So it's hard to say if that was a bad move or a good move. It was really good, but it's also been bad. So, I mean, it's really a yin-yang thing, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we're ready to take on the next one because that was our first time. So we went to college. So we're not going to say, like, doing that is bad. I don't want to scare anybody from, like, jumping into an opportunity. But definitely make sure you have somebody experienced with you helping, because we didn't do that. And what happened is that we could have done a better job if we had known more.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, but now we learned. And so the next one we're going to do is going to be great. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just really excited to see where the future takes us, and I'm really looking forward to like what we have coming up in the future. I'm really excited about our new custom cabinetry shop. We're going to be really putting out some beautiful stuff. We're going to be able to do more high-end stuff because of that. It's going to be great, and we're going places, you know? We're going places, and it's normal as like a small business to like hit bumps in the road here and there. And that's like, I guess, my biggest message to anybody who is in a small business or thinking about starting your own business is it's good when it's good, and it's tough when it's tough.
Yeah.
You know? And only the strong can make it.
That's
if you
true.
can't, just hold on for dear life and get through them strong times, I don't know what to tell you. I guess you're just not cut from the same cloth.
Yeah. So tell me this, right? What's the biggest lesson being an entrepreneur has taught you so far?
I'm going to say... It's a really hard question. There's been a lot of lessons.
Yeah, you could, yeah.
I'm
Take
going to
time and
say
then go
that,
through it.
like relationships with people are very important. Having faith in God is very important. But also, just don't ever think that you know everything. Always stay humble. Always be willing to hear somebody else's opinion and somebody else's advice. And if somebody comes up to you and they're like, hey, like, I don't think that you're doing this right and I'm going to teach you something. Don't be like, no, I know everything. Hear what they have to say and listen to them, you know?
Yeah.
But also watch out for predators, because there's predators out there like that too. They're like, I can help you solve all your problems
Are they coming for you?
for a price. And it's very expensive because I'm a professional. And there are some predators out there. So you have to be, you have to have discernment as well.
How do you stay innovative and adaptive for the future?
Well, I think like the biggest thing there is to just keep up with trends in the market and staying up with current technology. You know, of course, like ChatGPT, you're going to have to stay up with that. You need to have all of the AI integrations that other people are using. Otherwise, everything's a time game. So if somebody can do the same thing you can but faster, you're irrelevant. So you have to just keep ahead of everything,
Okay. All right.
And that's all you can do. You can just do your best.
All right.
And never quit, because if you quit, you're out the game.
All right. So let's run up this, interview or episode real fast. What will be your last, remarks for somebody watching who want to start something, but he or she is kind of like, dragging, like, kind of postponing, procrastinating, and all of that. What will be your last, remark towards, that person that, hey, you got something in you don't want to do it, just start it.
Well, the difference between somebody who is super successful and somebody who works a 9-to-5 for the rest of their life is one person decides to just start doing it and the other person doesn't. The other person's always waiting, trying to prepare. It's kind of like when you have a baby, sometimes, people want to prepare for a baby. Next thing you know, they're 45, they can't have a baby. Guess what? You don't prepare for it. You just start doing it and you get prepared. Because you have to. Because there's nothing like a little pressure that's going to make you get there.
Okay.
So my best advice is to just start doing it. In your free time, start doing it. In your, maybe switch to part-time. Do it part-time. I understand, it takes a minute to build up and get your customer base ready, but, you're just going to have to just start doing it. Just start doing it. No matter what you're doing, just start. That's the first step. Just start doing it. You don't have to have perfect pricing. You don't have to have perfect systems in place. You don't have to have even a perfect idea about where you're going and what you're going to be doing. Just start doing it, because you can make changes along the way. You're going to run into people who are going to give you advice along the way. Things are going to change along the way. Just start doing it.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Jess, for having you, on this episode. And then, we're going to have you back again. Hey, guys, it's been a wonderful episode with Miss Jess, founder, CEO, COO, micro-influencer. She's a lot. She's a lot. She's accomplished so much. But the moral lesson or the motivational quote for you today is just do it. Just do it. Thank you once again for having you. And then this episode was partnered with Cabinet Ladies. Let me say, if you want to remodel your home, your kitchen cabinet, countertop, expert designs, redesign any space in your home to your preferred style, taste, colors, whatever, just call them on 918-995-4930. Let me state it again, 918-995-4930. If you live in James, Broken Arrow, Tulsa, Owasso, anywhere in Oklahoma, or even Texas, Arkansas, Kansas, or wherever, they got you. Cabinet Ladies got you. I've been your host, Kenna, the greatest, on this episode. Catch you once again another time.